with Cash. It's your host, Cash Money Morgan. We are recording today off-site. This place is awesome, and if you're watching online, obviously you can see something pretty cool behind me. So before I get into it, I want to introduce my guests. Please give a warm welcome to Pavel.
Yes, Pavel Petrovich Bosovic, founder and CEO of 27 North.
What's up, Pavel? How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, better than I deserve. Thank you.
So Pavel created this awesome company, 27 North. But before we get into that, Pav, can I call you that? Pav?
Whatever.
What do you go by? Just Pavel?
So
or?
I could probably give you 6 off the top of my head.
Okay.
Pavel, whichever is easier for you.
All right. Pav. I guess we'll see what happens. So,
Okay.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into everything.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm a first-generation Ukrainian here in the United States. My family immigrated here in 1999. We started off pretty humble, pretty low standards of living, I would say. Poverty threshold according to the United States of America, but hard work and perseverance has got us where we are today.
That's awesome. Pause. If you hear anything in the background, we are straight up on North Glenstone. So we always record in my loft downtown, and it's always loud. So I'm like, you know what? Until we have a dope studio, you're just going to put up with it. I don't really care. It's authentic. It's real. So.
Yeah, keeping it real. I like it.
Keeping it real. Okay, so you came to America. You said you had humble beginnings. How did you end up here? Like, what did your story look like?
So I went to elementary, high school here in Springfield, Hickory Hills and Glendale. Pretty typical there.
Some shout outs.
Yeah. And then for college, I went to Mizzou, University of Missouri in Columbia. After college, I went to the corporate world. Menards was what I selected.
Okay.
I don't know why I chose Menards. Really didn't make any sense to me. Just a good opportunity.
Sometimes
good pay.
the companies choose us. Like we don't choose them,
Yeah, good recruiting.
Yeah.
Good recruiting. I did that for about a year and a half, and corporate life in America is brutal. Long shifts. I was working 7 days a week.
Wow.
Skipping church on Sunday, didn't like that. Skipping Saturdays, didn't like that. And then finally, I was like, I'm putting in so much work. I could be doing my own business. So prior to that, I didn't start my own business because I knew the amount of work it takes. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't quite ready to sacrifice family time, church time, personal time. I thought, corporate life would give me my 8 till 5. It didn't. So finally, I reached a point. I'm like, all right, I might as well invest this time I'm putting in this company, which I will see little return, into my own company with the chance and, likelihood of at least having something to pass on to further generation, making that big impact. And in college, I had a professor who was a Ukrainian professor, and he knew that I was a Ukrainian student, so he tracked me down, and he's like, hey, Paul, tell me your story, this and that. Long story short, he's like, you got to promise me 2 things. He's like, you're not going to go into construction, and you're not going to become a truck driver. Those are very common professions in the Slavic community.
Holy shoot, all right.
So that narrowed down what I could do, and I love transportation. I love construction.
Those are my 2 passions.
So I had to get creative. I made him a promise. I had to get creative, and that's where I went into the RV industry. I did that for about 2 years into 2020, and the RV industry is just really bad, subpar quality. You ask any RV dealer owner, and they're like, we're selling cardboard boxes on wheels. And so in 2020, we decided, why don't we build our own RV? And we got actually a van similar to this one. This one's red. We did a white one. We built it out, all wood construction, like a yacht. We did white on white, which is, Pinterest trending.
Love it, aesthetic.
And then we listed it on Facebook, and it went viral. People from all over the country are wanting it.
Wow.
And in 2021, we started mass producing them. And just last year alone, we did 50 custom builds all over the country. And we're on track this year to do 200 units.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. We need to get a little sound. Yeah. That's freaking awesome.
Thank you. I love the audio.
The sound effects. Like, yeah.
I always wanted to know how they did the cheering.
I'm like, I know, I'm like iCarly on here. You know what I'm saying? No, that's honestly so cool. So timeline wise, when did 27 North was created? What year?
So we launched 27 North officially in November of 2021. So about a year and a half ago.
Okay, awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So when you said that Facebook post went viral, when was that?
That was, we were still operating under the RV firm at that point. That was August of 21.
Okay.
A few months prior to that.
Wow. Okay, so I feel like I probably jumped a little bit ahead. Back to the story. We want to know how 27 North, like where the name came from and all of that. So.
Yeah, so in November we realized, RV firm, we don't want to be associated with the RV industry. We even, like, a good friend of mine, Mike Kehoe, Lieutenant Governor from Missouri, he's like, Paul, this is not RVs. Like, you got to come up with a new industry. So we came up with expedition vehicles. So it's a vehicle made for exploring. Exploring is big right now amongst millennials and the younger generation. And so these are expedition vehicles, and we wanted to be the pinnacle. And we were sitting one day with one of my executive officers, and we were brainstorming names, and over lunch we're like, Mount Everest. That is the tallest mountain.
Cool, yeah.
It's the tallest mountain in the world. Let's try to be Mount Everest. And so we went to trademark the name for us, and turned out someone had already beat us to it in our industry. And so we were like, it's one point in the world. How do we circumnavigate the world? And we started brainstorming again. We're like, what is the latitude of Mount Everest? Degrees. Okay. And it was 27 north degrees latitude. And we're like, boom, 27 north. And whenever we started, using the name, it was so catchy. It clicked. People were loving it. Our current and future clients at that time said it was like the best change for us, and we started operating as 27 North. And 27 North, the interesting thing is it circumnavigates the world. Mount Everest, Florida, China, like places where you would find our expedition vehicles.
That is so awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So obviously 2020 COVID hit, and I think a lot of people kind of began that van life. I don't want to stay at home, and did any of that have a big influence on whether, the idea or the company creation or even the demographic of who's buying,
Yes. I hate to say this, but the pandemic, it was really good for us. And I say that, humbly. I had friends and family impacted by it. I mean that from a business perspective. And so whenever the pandemic hit, the RV industry boomed by approximately 650%.
Wow.
Yeah, people, hotels shut down, resorts shut down. People wanted to travel, but they wanted to travel in a way where they're away from people.
Yeah.
And so the RV industry boomed, supply, demand. It was unbelievable. And so that was a big key factor to our success, was the demand created by the pandemic.
Wow. That's awesome. But really businesses, they boomed or they failed during that, and so it's interesting to see like which industry did what. So what is your job role here at 27 North? Like, you created it, so your official title is?
I call it the everything title.
Okay.
Officially on my desk, on the bylaws, it's founder and CEO. I'm 100% stakeholder of 27 North. It is a corporation. But I literally do everything. So I can come in the morning, I can take my own trash out if it's a busy day. I do a little bit of marketing, a little bit of sales, a little bit of production. I found my strength, where I really thrive, is helping people do their job better. And so while I have almost 30 employees, and I could probably step aside and the company would operate on its own, I love to spend my day a little bit in each department. And typically I'll start my day in marketing and then finish my day with my production team.
Very cool. And I think, great leaders have a little bit of a piece of everything, and they want to check in with every area of their business. And so that's really cool. So when you launched the company and you were getting started, what did funding look like in that one area? But also, you just mentioned you have 30 employees. So where did they come from? So, you've got lots of friends and family who are like, yes, what did that look like for you?
Yeah, I'll never forget, like, my first, we switched to an official payroll company, and about a year ago is when we had, we hit the 20 mark in employees. And payroll, we ran payroll, and I looked at them like 6 figures. Wow. I made that in a year, and we're paying that in a month. And it was a shock, it was hard, but it's numbers. And when you understand the power of numbers, the power of multiplication, it works phenomenal. So I like to break it down to when we started. It was my wife, me, and one of my brothers on an hourly pay. We bought a van. My dad, father-in-law, and one of my friends from college. The five of us came into my garage. We built the first one, sold it. We had, I think it was like $80,000, $90,000. what do most entrepreneurs do? They go buy a watch.
Right.
They go buy a car. They
Get that rollie.
Yeah, they make an Instagram post about
Oh
it.
no.
Now, what did we do?
He's like, we tied.
Yeah, shout out to Connect. So what did I do? I went and I purchased 2 more vans, and I brought on
The wise thing to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
I bought 2 more vans. I brought my father-in-law and my friend full time, and we started working full time. We sold 2 more vans. What do most people do? You know, second wave of success, go buy another car. No, we went and bought 4 vans.
Wow.
And we just kept doing that. And now we do 1 to 2 vans a week, and we do the same thing. My salary is less than most of what my managers make.
Wow.
I make about what my technicians make, and I put all that profit back into scaling, into growing, and into my team.
That's awesome. I love when companies do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just really powerful.
Yeah. So for the most part, it was, I guess you could say, bootstrapping. I don't know if there's true bootstrapping because we took out a personal business loan. We pulled a business loan online. I think it was PayPal. So we did pull a couple of small loans, nothing
Right.
big, like $40,000, $100,000. That helped us, with inventory, tools, equipment.
Was it hard to kind of get that in the beginning? When you
yes.
left corporate America, like did you have to have like a certain credit score
Yeah,
or whatnot?
the first year nobody's going to talk to you. That's why they call it the friends and family bank of friends and family.
Yeah.
I had a friend help me out with my first $40,000 loan, and that was to get tools. Paid that out within a month, paid him back.
That's awesome.
After that, we put together 1 year financials. So once you have 1 year financial statements, good, healthy financial statements, and then a good personal credit score, then pretty much any bank will work with you in getting a line of credit or a business loan. SBA will work with you at that point.
Yeah. So when it comes to the numbers in the accounting area, it seems like you're very well versed with that. Do
Yeah.
you have someone on your team who also is helpful? You just finished corporate America and you just knew all this stuff, or no?
So I took a lot of accounting courses in college. The courses my undergrad was business administration.
Okay, nice.
Emphasis in management, and then I took courses in the area of business where I felt like I was lacking. So I really wanted to learn about marketing. So I took marketing, psychology, and social psychology. I wanted to learn accounting, so I took 5 accounting courses, and I learned a lot about accounting. I wanted to know business law. I didn't want to rely on Google or my attorney.
Yeah.
And so I took 2 business law courses in college. The neat thing about college is you get to choose, and a lot of times people choose easy courses. Fun.
Me. It's me.
Yeah, they choose easy courses, the fun courses. Rarely do you choose. Well, Steve Jobs once said he went and chose a course that was intriguing. And for me, I chose courses that I knew would make me a stronger business owner.
Yeah, he's like, he's got degrees, but I learned a lot. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And then, I have 2 wonderful full-time accountants. They're
Yeah.
smart. Both of them have finance backgrounds and degrees. And then we just hired a CFO who's got bachelor's in experience in American banking. So that'll add, good
That's
addition to our
awesome.
team.
So one of the things about your vans or trucks that makes, that really sticks out in the industry is that they're luxurious.
Yes, very.
So where did that idea come when it came to the expedition?
Yeah, great question. So growing up in poverty, I was cleaning residential homes through middle school. And you go and you're cleaning these high-end homes, high-end furniture, high-end appliances.
The LED lights, the hot tubs.
Yeah, the whole night, like all of it. And you kind of, I wouldn't say envy or jealous of it. It just kind of motivated me. And
Yeah.
I'm like, one day I'm going to have that. One day I'm going to have that. And one day my house is going to have that. And the time came to design a van. And I knew the market I wanted to target was the market of whose homes I was cleaning. And I'm like, I already know what they want.
Yeah.
So I met with an interior designer. I'm like, this is all I want in my van. Can you make it look pretty?
Yeah.
And I gave her all the parameters, and she put it together for me. My wife helped a lot with the interior design, colors, and that's kind of where it sparked from. And then on the other half of that, I've always loved yachts, and one of my life goals is to build or buy a yacht manufacturer.
Yeah. Sweet. That's cool.
Yeah, thank you. And so I incorporate a lot of yacht features in our vans. So
Let me take a look real quick. I'm just
so
I can see it.
LED
yeah.
lighting, our battery and electrical system, our lights, gauges, switches, plumbing system. It's all sourced from yachts. Some of the appliances are sourced from yachts as well.
Wow. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I'm ready to buy one of these and live in here. Seriously.
I mean, it's just all wood construction, so it looks beefy, it looks strong. A lot of RV manufacturers, they just use the MDFs, the plywoods. I always say you can stick your finger through their cabinets here.
Yeah.
You can use our cabinetry as a cutting board. I mean, it's really resilient.
That's awesome. So I don't know if you can say, but like the demographic of your clients, is it people who are typically in Springfield or people who see it online, come travel from like California? What is your clientele like? Who are they?
Yeah, so 95% of our clientele are out of state, and a lot of professors, nurses, doctors, pilots. I would say the upper middle class. A lot of people either towards retirement or just really tired of the day-to-day life, and they will take a month off during the year and just travel all over the country in a van.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So when someone purchases a van, do they have to you guys drive it to them? How does that look?
So yeah, my first one I did personally deliver to Florida. Ever
brought
since
the cookies
then,
too. Just with the personalized thank you note.
Yes, we did a personalized thank you note. We did cookies. We did a whole gift basket, flowers, journal, all
That's
of it.
awesome.
Yeah. And so we personally delivered the first one. Now we outsource our shipping. So a shipping company delivers it to your front door. You open the sliding door, and on the cabinet there's a personalized gift basket.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, we ship directly to front door. Occasionally we'll have influencers are big too. Our influencers will fly in. They love doing the video, the podcast.
Do you have any influencers you can name drop at all or anything? Or
we recently did Jaden and Courtney. They're big. We worked with Sam and Dan Matthews. I don't know if you heard of them. Who else? There's probably 4 or 5. If you go on our Instagram, you'll see they tag us all the time. And
that's awesome. So is that a partnership where the sponsored posts or anything like that, or just organic influencer?
All organic. Well, they love the vision.
We're gonna have to. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's amazing when you find people that see your vision, they hear your story, they believe in you. They go the extra mile for you.
They really do. Yeah, I've even seen that with my own podcast, and it's just crazy how when someone can sympathize with you and they see it. Yeah, as passionate as you are.
Yeah, and then an influencer we're working with 2 right now. One, I can't disclose their name. They're a famous family with a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Hint, hint. And then
they've had multiple TV shows and scandals.
TV shows, yes. Scandals, I can't confirm or
scandals.
deny. I can't confirm or deny the other half of that
That's
statement.
funny. Probably candles too. I'm just kidding.
And then the other one... just drew a blank. What do you do for a living, guy? Daniel Mack.
My gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so we just initial conversations, trying to do a collab there with him.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So I guess to get a little bit deeper, what has been the most challenging part of starting your own business? And whether it's from the professional side and also maybe you mentally, you know?
All of it. All of it's been challenging. A couple of key points that were the most challenging was probably friends and family believing in you. That one was hard. I had a big vision from the start, and a lot of my friends and family didn't believe in me. It was very doubtful. What are you doing? It's pandemic. Oh, that's big. It's a big risk. How are you going to pay your employees? How are you got to care for yourself. Why do you need to get so big? So that made it really challenging because you're already
you're already doubting yourself already. Yeah.
And then when you have people you care, love, and value.
Yeah.
But you kind of explain the vision to them. You explain that you understand there's a risk. You understand what you're doing. And it kind of turns into a motivation. So I just learned to channel that into my motivation.
That's good.
Yeah. My dad was a big support. A couple of my siblings were a big support. My wife turned into a big supporter.
That's a long run, what I'm saying? So when you have, not haters, but when people who don't get it, how did you combat that and stay motivated and encouraged? Do you just turn that into motivation?
You have to turn it into motivation. I always thought I would get to a point where it would stop, but I noticed the more successful I get, the more it's out there.
Yeah.
Especially the brutal social media. Social media is really brutal and hard. So if you're not careful there and take it to heart, you get discouraged, give up. I've disciplined my mind and my heart to turn it into motivation.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So can you talk about your vision at all for 27 North for the next couple of years? I don't know. I mean, I know you can't like say a lot probably because.
Yeah. So first of all, I wanted to say this is year 3, and we've grown 10 times year 3 in a row. And so we're going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
And if you run the numbers, you'll realize that we're on a trajectory to become $1 billion company.
Wow.
And every year, my goal is to launch one new line of forms of transportation. And we've launched now 7 lines of vans. We've launched 2 lines of expedition trucks. This year we're launching another form of expedition vehicle traveling.
Yeah. Can't talk about it.
We launched this summer, so we're pretty excited about that. We launched this summer.
That's so cool.
And then, our goal is just every year 1 to 2 lines we launch, and each one brings a huge revenue source. Just the truck line we launched this year doubled our revenue, doubled our size. And so we want to be $1 billion transportation company.
Yeah, that would be insane. That's so awesome. But the question I want to ask is, like, you're very motivated, and so if there's someone else that wants to start a smaller business and they're young and they're lost, you're doing extremely well. What advice would it be for that person?
Yeah, that's a good question. I get it asked all the time. I would say. Be ready to put in 10,000 hours. If you're not ready to put in 10,000 hours in less than 3 years, so that's about 70-hour work weeks. So if you're not ready to do that,
I don't think I'm ready to. Okay.
Yeah, then just don't do it. Don't do it. I'm talking about success. Like,
right.
If you want to be within a few years become a millionaire, the overnight success story, 10,000 hours in less than 3 years. That means 70, 80-hour work weeks. If not, there's another avenue, slow and steady. Slow and steady, the famous turtle versus rabbit story that we read in grade school. Just take it slow and easy. There's a famous entrepreneur off Shark Tank. He worked 3 years at Applebee's while he was starting a startup. There's nothing wrong with going that route.
Right, 100%.
But usually the people asking me that question are the people that want to know how to do it, how I did it. Sacrifice. Say goodbye to vacations, fancy cars, family events, trips. You got to put in the work, put in 10,000 hours in less than 3 years, and you'll have success. Any industry, social media, transportation, construction, pharmaceutical, any industry. There's a friend of mine out of Florida. He started a junk removal, like garbage collector.
Yeah.
2 years later, multimillionaire.
Wow. That's awesome.
Any industry, like we live in a time and age, any industry, 100 years ago, you had only a few industries were succeeding.
Yeah.
Today, you can become a millionaire. I'm a firm believer from any industry. And if you don't believe me, contact me. I only charge $10,000 an hour.
Right.
$10,000 an hour and 10% equity. I will give you a business plan. I will mentor you how to become a millionaire off any industry.
Yeah. Wow. This guy. Okay. Yeah. Another one. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you mentioned sacrifice. So, what is your family situation, like love life? What does that look like? And what did that look like when you started the company?
Yeah. So when we started the family, started the business, it's my family.
Right. He's like, oh, it's all together.
Yeah.
So.
We didn't have any children. And so right prior to that, we were fostering. We had 4 foster children.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So
cool.
we were like, all right, if God is going to bless us on doing this, we want these 4 kids to be reunified with their parents. And if that happens, we were going to start a business. And surely it happened. Like, the judge was like, I've been a judge for 30 years. I've never made a call like this, but I want to give your kids back to you. And so our foster kids, 4 of them, all under the age of 7, they went back to their foster real parents. And so we started our business. And it was nice. I think it was a lot... I don't want to say nice, sounds kind of bad, but it was a lot easier not having kids.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you have kids, it's a lot more challenging. Still doable, just a lot more challenging. And so whenever my wife saw the vision, she got lost in working with me. And so we were working together. So lunch dates, dinner dates, we were on the same schedule. I think if you and your partner are not in it together, a whole new set of challenges. And then if you have kids, a whole new set of challenges. I don't think I have the expertise to advise that, but definitely if you have a partner that sees the vision with you, it makes it a lot easier.
That's awesome. That's awesome, especially with a 10,000 work week.
Yeah.
Now you're spending that with your wife too.
Yeah.
So when did you guys meet? Like, how old were you, and how did that happen?
We were way too young in college. So
I went to Evangel, so
yeah.
they're popping babies out by senior year. So
so this
whatever.
was junior year of college. I realized I wanted to start a family, and
Junior year.
Yeah.
Okay, to each their own.
Yeah, I didn't think it would come so quick. I thought, maybe a year or two after college. And I came home, and my parents invited me to visit their church here in town. And I went to visit the church, and after church, a bunch of young people got together, college students and post-grad students. We got together at a restaurant, and love at first sight. We just hit it off really good.
Boom.
And then it was kind of interesting. Like, I really believe it's like a God thing. We like the same thing. We're passionate about the same thing. She wanted to finish her degree. I wanted to finish my degree, and we're like, why don't we just do it together? And that's the key again.
So that's the line you need to use. I'm just kidding.
Versus, if you have a partner wanting to go a different route, it's really hard. So if you're married and want to start an entrepreneurial journey, you just make sure your partner's headed the same direction, or at least supporting you.
Yeah. So can you talk about the culture here at 27 North at all?
A family center, very supportive. We're very we're really picky about who we hire. We got to make sure we work in harmony together. We love giving away cars, so every year we
giving away cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm thinking like T-shirts. No.
Yeah. So
the Christmas party must go crazy.
Yeah. In the last 2 years, we've given away 3 cars now. We're about to give away our 4th car. Yeah.
You guys hiring? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So we give away brand new cars. So
like you're giving away like vans and trucks, or
no, cars. Just
cars.
I got my VP a Dodge Challenger.
Okay.
I got my production manager, who now oversees our office stuff. He got a brand new Jeep Gladiator, like the pickup truck Jeeps.
Nice. Is there like a catalog to get to choose from, or?
No, I get to choose. I pick cars that I would want.
Yeah.
Because
in the spirit of giving, yes.
Yeah. So I buy it, and then I get the excitement of buying it, and then I get the excitement of giving it.
That's awesome.
And then we gave one of our cabinet woodshop technicians a Mini Cooper.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I don't know what I'm going to do next. I have a couple of people I'm thinking about that are on the list that deserve a car. And so I make it personal. So I find someone that I truly believe is in it for the long run, meaning at least 10 years in the company. And then if they have a good story, like, grew up poor or currently in poor living conditions, and then I gift it to them. I want it to be a blessing for a personal aspect and a professional aspect. That's kind of the 2 key features that I look at whenever I gift a car. And then we love, bonuses. We found out one of our guys was homeless for 2 days, living in his car. And
you're like, hey guys, have you heard of our just crashing the van, bro? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we were shocked. Like I thought it was a joke. Like when it got to me, I went to the manager right away, and I'm like, why did it take you 2 days to find out?
Yeah.
It shouldn't have taken you. You should have found out the same day. And so he had a rough pass. So we co-signed for his apartment and paid his deposit. Got him into a nice apartment. I go on and on for hours. That's the kind of culture and atmosphere we have here. And when you have that kind of atmosphere and culture, employees go beyond the expectation, and you in return are a lot more successful.
Yeah, that's so great. So, are most of your employees then family still, or have you branched out and recruited other people? And if so, what kind of you're posting that job on LinkedIn and Indeed, or like how is someone coming to work at your company?
So initially was Facebook and Indeed. Haven't had too much success with LinkedIn, even though I did have a post go viral recently.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about that. Yeah.
And so mostly now has been referral. The only family I have in the business is my wife and my father-in-law. Everyone else is just people not related to him. And then we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees too. I think we have like 7 or 8 Ukrainian refugees right now.
Yeah. Wow, you guys are doing amazing things here.
Thank you.
Right here, North side of Springfield. Like, that's such a vibes.
Yeah, Springfield, Missouri. I love it.
Yeah. So your marketing efforts are really great. And I think I saw you on LinkedIn like way before I even saw 27 North. And so from the marketing perspective, kind of what's been your plan? And you've been executing it.
So first of all, I'm not a big social media guy. For the longest time, I didn't have social media. I thought it was a waste of time. And then a good friend of mine out of California, they designed and developed a 3D printing car. And
3D printing car?
Yeah, like it's a 3D printed car. Like they 3D printed a car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's super cool. If you have $2 million to drop.
Right. The next giveaway.
Yeah. And so he said that the new style of marketing is people want to buy into you and not your company. And so I started doing research. I'm like, Ford, the CEO, is all over social media. Lamborghini, Bugatti, even Toyota. You know, it's all in the exec team because people want a face behind the company.
True.
I'm like, I'm going to try it out. And so I opened up all the social media platforms, and it just took off. And if you ask probably 100% of our clients, you know, why they chose us over one of the other, you know, expedition vehicle builders, they most times say because of Paul or one of our people that are behind, you know, the face behind the company.
Yeah, that's great. So when it comes to content, you know, that you're posting or 27 North, how personal do you make it?
I try to draw a line, and then I try to cycle through content. And so the pictures, my marketing team gets me pictures and content, and then I just type up my own post. So I will do like, I cycle between family, business, Ukraine, and then the economy. Business, you know, it's pretty standard stuff. For in regards to like family, personal stuff, to answer your question, I don't know. I draw a pretty strong line. People keep telling me to get more and more personal. I'm just not quite comfortable.
You don't, and I think you don't have to. You know, I mean, one of my last episodes, we talked about stalking. We talked about how people get obsessive and crazy. And so I think a healthy, you can be personal without having to like leak your address, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's a boundary for sure.
I agree, because some of the contracts we're working with and some of the industries we're getting into right now, there's a certain level of risk associated with it. And so for the safety of myself and my family and my friends and people I care about, I've kept that boundary pretty strong.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, is there, the LinkedIn post that went viral. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So Sunday morning, and I don't like posting on Sunday. Sunday's like my day, kind of just brainstorm business. I'm like, I got to post. So I was kind of thinking, you know, it's so not fair. Big corporations have so much support, so much, you know, following, such large followings. And I'm like, why don't people support small businesses the way they support big businesses? And I just 3 paragraphs about, you know, it's not fair. Stop supporting big businesses, support small businesses.
Here's my rant on LinkedIn. That
3 paragraphs. And then I saw this picture of a sign online. I'm like, I like this picture. And it's trended, you know, over the last decade or so over the internet. And I attached that picture to my post. And we're approaching 10 million impressions, over 200,000 likes, 10,000 reposts. My account doubled in following. I just connections. I had to stop opening messages.
Yeah.
I got probably close to 1,000 inbox messages.
He's like, did I just become famous? I'm just kidding.
And so it was an unreal experience. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later.
Right.
I didn't expect it to happen this soon. I always told myself, I'm going to respond to everybody when I get famous, because famous people don't respond to
right.
And then here I am.
He's like waiting Justin Bieber, like.
And then here I am not responding to people. So sorry if you're, you know, waiting for a response, you're not going to get one.
So what would your advice be to a small business when it comes to marketing or advertising and stuff like that?
You got to have someone who can do it full time. Because as a business owner, you can't, but that's a major key to your success. And so right now we have 2 full-time people. We're looking to bring on a 3rd full-time person.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's key. You know, branding, marketing, that's key to any business's success right now.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm a self-care girly. You know, as much as I love to hustle and all my different side things going on, I know there's certain days where I need to chill. Yeah. And I know you mentioned when, you know, the company had first started, you're sacrificing a lot of that time, but you know, mentally, it's also like, how do you do that? So what do you do, if you do, to kind of unwind, relax, and let your brain kind of just step away and disassociate?
Church and sauna.
Yeah.
So church is a big one for me. I'm a big believer of, a lot of people, they stop going to church, and a lot of times they blame it for, bad things in the church. And I mean, it's always been, always will be, don't go to the church for people. And so whatever religion you are, even if you're an atheist, it's good for your soul to go to church.
Yeah.
You go to church, you hear a good sermon, you hear, a good song, a good prayer. I recommend this to any business owner, any entrepreneur. I even read a study, I think it was in the New York Times, the positive psychological effect on your mental health by attending church.
Really?
And I think the article even said, yes, if you're an atheist, go to church too.
Oh,
and
there you go.
Yeah, and that's my biggest recommendation. I don't care if you believe in God or not. Any entrepreneur, you got to find time to go to a church. It does something here and here that just helps you reset.
Yeah.
And then my secondary thing is sauna. So find some good friends, or if you're a solo flyer, go by yourself. Sauna's really good, whether you do steam or dry sauna. I do dry sauna. I try to go bi-weekly, every other week. You can do a nice sauna session, helps me restart.
Yeah, it's actually fascinating to say that. I just started doing that.
That's
like
awesome.
literally the past 2 weeks. And I think for me, like especially during the week when you're really busy and you got to be accurate about a million things, just like kind of 30 minutes or whatever in the sauna, and you're like, wow, that was just like Florida, because Missouri is so gray.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of sun, and so you got to figure out how to stay happy. At least that's just me.
Yeah.
So are there any fun facts that we might not know about 27 North or you that you want to share on the pod?
Fun fact, all our expedition vehicles are fully self-sustainable.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can go to Mexico Beach and spend 2 weeks there and not have to worry about finding an RV park or finding a bathroom or shower. You can go to any national park. Here's a fun fact. A lot of times you're like, oh, I need a hotel, I need an Airbnb, I need food, I need restaurants. Here we offer training course. You meal prep. You track your fuel, electric and water consumption, and you go any national park, and you can spend a comfortable 2 weeks in any national park.
Wow.
And it is such a great experience. I've done it a few times now, and it's almost like first day your mind's still kind of panicking, like, what about fuel, what about food, what about this, what about that? And then you kind of start to trust yourself that, hey, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And it's just you and nature, and you look around, there's no one for 15 miles. And
wow.
It's just so quiet, like you can hear your eardrums for the first 2 days until you get acclimated to the quietness.
I think that would kind of be scary for me.
Skiing, skiing's another big one. What's the downside of taking vacations? You got to plan hotel, food, all this stuff, and it takes away from your vacation. Versus with an expedition vehicle, you go to a ski resort, you can go the beach. You park on the beach. There's places you can park on the beach, and you spend a week out on the beach.
Yeah. Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
And there's good storage in these too?
Oh yeah, we have upper storage. You can do a cargo storage carrier on the top, your base cabinets. I mean, everywhere we could think of there's storage.
Awesome. Have you vacationed with one of these too?
Oh yeah, I've taken this in our big expedition truck. I mean, it's a must.
What's the coolest place you took one of these?
I would probably say Mount Zion in Utah.
Okay,
it's a big national park. We did a Jeeps only trail, or an off-road vehicle only trail, and there was a 30-degree climb, and we put the truck in first gear and all the way to the top. And I mean, there's rocks and 1,000-foot drop. There was Jeep drivers there looking at us like we were crazy.
Like, are you guys gonna make it?
Yeah, they're like, this is no RVs allowed here, right? Like, we're not RV, we're an expedition truck. We went all the way up. It was kind of funny because the Jeeps that were there, they kind of stop and they maneuver and they'll use their winch, and we just all the way up.
And everything was perfect? No?
Yep.
Wow, that's...
Not a single cabinet came out of alignment. We had wine glasses, and we had pottery bowls and plates, and not a single chip or crack.
That's amazing. Well, Pavel, this has been so much fun. Before we end, my last question, 27 North is an awesome company. You're extremely motivated. Do you have any advice to any entrepreneur who's scared to make the leap of faith to make, their own small business?
Yes.
Or a struggling entrepreneur who's already in a small business.
A famous quote, that I once heard for myself, because I was once in that position too. I mean, we had a house, we had cars, I had a good paying job. My wife was sort of a stay-at-home wifey. It was like, it was the American dream. And
quotation mark, American dream.
Yeah, American corporate dream. They
Right.
kind of make you believe that. And so I sat there and I'm like, I have nothing to lose. And when I look back at my life in 10 years and 20 years, what do I want to have? A thought of, man, I wish I would have done it, regret, or a thought of, man, I tried it. Whether it was successful or not, it doesn't matter. You won't have regret if you don't succeed, but you'll have regret if you don't try.
That's good. That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Pav. So I like to end my show the same way every episode. You guys know this. Favorite song, favorite quote, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Yes, I love it. That's me buying time.
I know, we try to go over it, but he's like, Jesus, take the wheel.
I'd say favorite song has to be Amazing Grace. The story behind
awesome.
it.
Yeah.
The story behind it, the famous slave trader who had to come to God or come to Jesus moment. And I never knew the story behind the song. So, you grow up singing it in church. And then I heard the story. And that's a powerful story. So if you're you're distant from God, or you don't know God, or if you're a young business owner thinking, how can I succeed? Why do it without God? Give God a chance to be a part of your business. Listen to his story. I mean, he was a big slave trader, big business owner, big entrepreneur, you could say. And in that song, he shares about how his life was changed when God came into his life, and how much happier he was afterwards. Famous quote. I'd have to go with Helen Keller. The only thing
shout outs.
The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision.
Wow. I'm not thinking about that one for like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, I tell my staff that all the time. I'm like, guys, I'm going to be a millionaire. My exec team's going to be a millionaire. And whether you're a part of that or you read it about in the paper is up to you. And so in order to be a part of that, you have to have the vision. You just got to believe it. You just got to believe it. One of our founding fathers said, if you just believe in something, you're already halfway there.
Yeah.
That's for one of the first presidents. I can't remember which one.
Are you a big reader?
Maybe.
Because he was like pulling out quotes, articles. Like I'm like,
yes.
Where in the brain are you?
Yes, I consume a lot of information in between the Bible.
In the sauna. I'm just kidding.
No, sauna's me and friend time. I go with my friends to sauna. Yeah. Yes, that's another big thing. Circling back on success is mentors, newspapers, business journals, podcasts, all of it. You got to be able to consume information and properly analyze it.
Yeah, that's good.
And then remind me, what was the last
legacy?
one?
What do you want your legacy to be?
I think I want to have the legacy of what I'm already working on. Is I want to be known for changing people's lives through giving. And I have a lot of goals. I want to get my mom and my mom-in-law. I want to build them houses. I want to build orphanages. I want to be known for a giver and having a positive impact on this world.
Yeah, that's so great. One more. For all time's sake.
Thank you.
Well, Pavel, honestly, your story is awesome. I think you're already impacting a lot of people, so it's going to be so exciting to see how 27 North and you continue impacting people, especially here in Springfield, where there's all kinds of things going on all the time. So
gotta love Springfield, Missouri.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the pod. And to my listeners, I love you guys. Continue putting your priorities up for this year. And if you're passionate about wanting to start a small business, definitely feel encouraged from this episode and believe in yourself, believe in your dream, because with God, anything is possible. So love you guys. Bye.